After an absolute dumpster fire of a first season, that of course being The Rings of Power, we all heard the rumours going around that the two showrunners, JD Payne and Patrick McKay, were going to be getting demoted by just being in the writer's room rather than actually showrunning. Now, I don't think this would have made a difference in the slightest. I think what Amazon have done with their first season is unsalvageable. I think even if they attempted to correct course, it's already done. You already blew the first season. You pissed everyone off. No one's really interested at this point other than just using your show for the roasting material that it is. But we now have new rumours that say Amazon are actually going to delay this. They're going to delay, again, just putting the two showrunners only being in the writer's room doesn't really make any difference. They're still going to be attached to it. You're still going to have people like Lindsay Weber attached to it. So, you know, the action they were taking by just not having them as showrunners wouldn't have made a difference to anything. But as the rumour says, Amazon to delay demotion of the Rings of Power showrunners to avoid sinking first season's Emmy odds. Because that's what everybody cares about. That is the thing that matters these days, is Emmy Awards, even though most of them are all bought and paid for or given to absolute shite. You're dealing with awards that don't mean anything to anybody. The Emmys can't even get an audience to watch them. So really, what does them getting an Emmy, how does that help your series? Your series will still be dog shit, whether you win an Emmy or not. But apparently that's what they want to do. They just want to get their Emmys, even though they don't deserve them. But hey, Jeff Bezos got a lot of money. I'm sure he can buy himself one. But let's see what it says. Rather than being demoted for Season 2, the latest word on the street suggests that Amazon will keep current The Rings of Power showrunners JD Payne and Patrick McKay in their current roles for at least one more outing in order to boost the first season's chances of securing an Emmy. Again, at this point, do it. That's really all you can say at this point. It's like, why should I try and point you in the direction, or in the right direction rather? You know, you might as well do this because it doesn't make any difference. Your show is already dead in the water. It's a dead show. Season 2 is just another dead on arrival season, and even by after Season 3, probably going to be axed. It's not going to hit Season 5. I think that is obvious at this point, but it seems like they just want to do it to get an Emmy, as if that somehow changes anything. And of course, it goes into, of course, all the rumours that we've seen about Amazon retooling and then just demoting the showrunners to the writer's room. Following this initial reports, Brandon in the Comics was contacted by an insider source whose identity is known to our editorial team, but is being kept anonymous at their request, with an update to the situation. According to them, Amazon has since decided that rather than sideline Payne and McKay immediately, the two will be kept on for one more season. It's like, how well do they think this is going to go over? Do they think somehow Patrick McKay and JD Payne, that are absolute dog shit writers that are never going to do anything for this show, I don't see where do you think this is going by putting them on for Season 2? Are you just oblivious to that they're just going to mess it up again? The reason the studio reportedly wants Emmy Awards, in fact, well, that's basically so Hollywood somehow thinks that this show was a big success because it got an Emmy Award that the majority of people don't give a shit about, because it doesn't make something good. You know, if this was 30 years ago, maybe it would actually mean something when good stuff actually got awards, but that doesn't happen anymore, does it? And thanks to the overwhelmingly negative optics such a shake-up would generate for the series, sidelining them would spike any consideration in all categories. Unfortunately, there was a limit to the information that Brandon in the comic source was privy to, and as such, it is unknown whether Payne and McKay will retain the same creative control over the series they did in Season 1, because as we know, when it actually comes to demoting JD Payne and Patrick McKay, it is not going to be a public one, because that would be Amazon admitting that their show was an absolute failure. will retain same creative control over the series they did in season 1, or if their continued roles as showrunners would be in name only. For those curious as to what a waste of nearly $1 billion looks like, the first season of Amazon's The Rings of Power, I'm not using The Lord of the Rings because it isn't, it's now streaming on Prime Video, so you better go and check that out for yourself. It's dog shit. That's really all you can say about it. But yeah, it's just, again, it's just doubling down on the same old shit. And again, all I can say, go ahead and do it. I will take the piss out of it and have a lot of fun doing that. Won't have a lot of fun watching it, but taking the piss out of it, I will. But yeah, it's funny, they just want an Emmy. As if that, again, it doesn't, in current era, doesn't mean a thing. Especially when there's so much dog shit that gets awards. And I'm pretty sure they've already been nominated for People's Choice Awards. Sure, they bought that as well. Because I'm sure they did. But yeah, it's fine. Just keep doubling down, and I will keep shitting all over it.